Kosovo 1999. Where to start? You might not have heard of it if you're not from the Balkans, but trust me, don't click away just yet. The Kosovo-Serbian War is one of the most controversial conflicts in the Balkans since the Ottoman Empire, and it goes back many centuries ago. In fact, Kosovo's territory, being mostly Albanian, was host to multiple battles between the Serbs and the Ottomans, the most notable one being in 1389, named the Battle of Kosovo. That said, ethnic Albanians were most probably fighting for both sides. This went on until the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, some years after their forced withdrawal from the whole Balkan region. Serbia, having declared independence around a century ago, took control over Kosovo, while Albania also declared its own independence that same year. After World War I, Kosovo then became part of a newly formed Yugoslavia led by Josip Tito. The new socialist government of Yugoslavia saw Serbs drive out Albanians from Kosovo at various times, which also proved to be antecedents of the war. Nonetheless, Albanians remained the majority in the region, and became even more dominant in population in recent years. They constituted about 80% of Kosovo as of 1991, while Serbs and Montenegrins filled only 10% of the total population. Since then, the ratio has enlarged itself to be 93 to 2%, a significant reason for this being large Serb departures and high Albanian birth rates. Since the Yugoslav constitution in 1974, Kosovo had been granted autonomy rights progressively, with Albanian language schools being created. However, problems started when Slobodan Milosevic came to power as president of Serbia in 1987, and in 1989 he stripped Kosovo of its autonomy. Throughout the years, Serbia's elite proved to be overly oppressive towards the dominant Albanian population in Kosovo. This included the use of force and intimidation to suppress Albanian political and cultural expression, as well as the widespread use of torture, rape, and other human rights abuses against Albanian civilians. Then came the breakup of Yugoslavia in the early 1990s. As the various constituent republics declared independence, Kosovo was left in a difficult position. Ethnic Albanians desired the same outcome as the other countries. According to a survey from 1995, 43% of Kosovars wanted to join Albania, and the other 57% wanted full independence. The problem was, Kosovo never stood at the center of the US and EU Balkan policy. Therefore, as long as extensive violence had not occurred, their demands would not be taken into full consideration. This is what finally caused the creation of the Kosovo Liberation Army in 1997. The KLA was a nationalist organization that sought to create an independent Kosovo, founded by Adem Yashari, Hashim Thaci, and others. Its goal was to put pressure on the Serb government, and it carried out a series of attacks against Serbian military and police targets. In response, the Serbian government launched a crackdown against the KLA and the Albanian population in general. This included a campaign of ethnic cleansing, in which Serbian forces forcibly removed thousands of Albanians from their homes and either killed them or sent them to detention camps. Approximately 14,000 people were killed or went missing, and it is estimated that around 1.4 million people, including both Albanians and Serbs, were displaced during the war. Many people fled to neighboring countries, and countless refugee camps were created in northern Albania, southern Montenegro, and northwest Macedonia. In the face of this campaign, the KLA continued to fight, and by early 1999, the situation had escalated into a full-blown war. This is when the US intervened. In March of that year, NATO began a 78-day bombing campaign against Belgrade, which eventually forced the Serbian government to withdraw its forces from Kosovo. The war ended in June 1999 with the deployment of a United Nations peacekeeping force and the eventual establishment of a UN administration in Kosovo. The consequences of the war were far-reaching. A lot of the people that left the region were never able to return, and the war left Kosovo with a huge population of internally displaced persons. The conflict also had a devastating effect on the economy of Kosovo and Albania, which were already two of the poorest regions in Europe, with Albania experiencing the fall of the communist regime just a few years ago. It also led to the eventual independence of Kosovo, which was declared in 2008 and is now recognized by more than 100 countries around the world. Additionally, the war served as a catalyst for further conflict in the Balkans. In the aftermath, the UN established an international tribunal to prosecute war crimes committed during the conflict, and many Serbian leaders were subsequently indicted and tried for their role in the war. Also, former KLA leader Hashim Thaci, who had become president of Kosovo in 2016, was forced to resign from his spot 3 years ago in order to face a war crimes tribunal along with other former KLA members. Anyways, tensions between Albania and Serbia have remained high. One example is the issue of Kosovo's independence, like just mentioned. While Albania has recognized Kosovo, Serbia has not, and has continued to claim the territory as its own. This has led to a number of diplomatic conflicts between the two countries, with Albania supporting Kosovo's independence and Serbia refusing to recognize it. In recent years, there have been many incidents that have further strained relations between the two countries, especially in sports. You might have asked yourself what was happening during the intro of this video. Well, in 2014, during a match between Serbia and Albania, a flag representing ethnic Albania was flown above the stadium in Belgrade, which caused outrage from both sides. Despite these tensions, there have also been efforts to improve relations between Albania and Serbia. In 2016, the two countries signed a joint declaration on regional cooperation, pledging to work together to promote stability and cooperation in the Balkans. The Albanian and Serbian foreign ministers met in Tirana and agreed to work towards improving relations between their countries. As of right now, tensions are climbing once again, as Serbia has deployed troops in Kosovo for unknown reasons, and NATO has stated that they will intervene if any minor aggression happens. We obviously hope that history doesn't repeat itself, and that we never see another war of this sort again.